Hey, brother. Title might have caught your eye. And again, I'm making this video to educate you, not shame you, on four things that are an indication you might be the problem in the bedroom that's leading to the sexless marriage, okay? First, and it is probably the most common problem, is you cannot talk about sex. You and your partner, most couples can't. You've been brought up not to talk about sex. You've been shamed about sex, and most cannot openly communicate, okay? And this can be overcome, but at the end of the day, it's very common. Now, how might you overcome this? You could use yes, no, maybe lists to start getting the dialogue going. And when I am saying talking about sex, I'm not talking about the nice guy who whines and complains that it's been 2 months and is trying to tell his wife that we don't have sex often enough. Again, that's the guy who has the four problems we're talking about in this video. So the first is you can't talk about sex. And again, we're not talking about complaining. The second is you monitor, keep track of, and feel threatened and insecure about her sex toys, her vibrators, her dildos, whatever it may be. The reality is they're different kinds of orgasms. They're efficient orgasms as opposed to taking time, needing to be freshly showered. And quite honestly, if you're insecure and can't incorporate them into your bedroom activities, and you can't talk about it to do that, you're contributing to the sexless marriage, to the dead bedroom, to the problems you're having. Sex toys are an enhancement, an addition, okay? They're not a threat. They're not going to replace you, okay? Something to keep in mind. Number 3, you haven't educated yourself about sex. If you're in Western society, with rare exception, you've received little to no sex education. Porn is inaccurate and it's not educational. It's entertainment, and it is wildly unrealistic and shows a lot of bad things that aren't typical in sex. Most parents didn't educate their kids on sex, and the schools sure as hell don't do an adequate job. They do an inadequate, horrible job, okay? So think about this. And I've known men who feel threatened by the sex toys, can't talk about sex, have no sex education, okay? And define sex as penis and vagina. And again, because you don't have any sex education, maybe you haven't ever read the book She Comes First by Ian Kerner and don't have above average oral skills, and you wonder why she's not interested, okay? All of these are correctable. And the fourth one is the one that we see and often, especially in the older demographics, and it's the same old, same old. The reality is many men would be happy with a very routine sex life. But the reality is women will not. They need variety. So if it's the same old, and she's not orgasming, and it's just penis and vagina until you get off, why would she want to have that sex? So again, all four of these are things in your control. You can educate yourself, which can lead to a little more confidence to talk about sex with her, which can then lead to maybe the yes, no, maybe list, to where you're no longer threatened by her sex toys. And then maybe you'll realize how critical variety is for a woman when it comes to sex. Okay? Now, again, I'm not shaming you, brother, because you weren't taught this stuff. Okay? I at least 6 times a year end up on a coaching call with a man who says, and I quote, "You're the only one I can talk to about this," because they can't talk to their friends about it because they're afraid, embarrassed, don't want to be shamed, and they can't talk to her about it. So how many of these 4 things are present in your relationship? If they are, you are a significant contributor to the sexless marriage. But these are all fixable, okay? You can educate yourself and start trending at the opposite direction. If you want to have help with that, reach out below. Let's have a conversation. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.